Hey guys, Kevin here to bring you a brand new video where today we're going to be doing a day 23 of Failed Film February. And the film that we're going to be talking about today is one that I was especially worried about, as far as not liking it. Like out of any film in this lineup, I was actually the most scared to watch this movie. Like pretty much any other film on this list of films to watch, I could kind of be like, okay, I mean it might not be that great, but maybe it might be a little enjoyable. But this one I just feel like is not a film I would want to watch at all. And I don't see how I could ever want to watch this. And the fact that I even put myself through this movie is insane to think. And if someone else did this series, I don't know if they would necessarily pick a movie like this. So yeah, the movie that we're going to be talking about is called Cats from 2019. Arguably one of the worst films ever made, especially in recent time. Oh my fucking god, dude. Why did I put myself through this? I could have done so many other things. I could have watched other things. I stayed up late watching this, and I spent $4 on it on a rental, and it's just so much pain that I put myself through putting watching this. It was actually legitimate torture watching this movie. I'm not joking. The thing about this is that this is a musical, basically. And, it's a musical because, 90% of the movie is singing. And you're supposed to, somehow, understand and, get into this plot, because of, what these people are singing about and, the lyrics that they say and, the characters they introduce and, the villain that's there, played by Idris Elba, and, who these characters are and, what their roles are, all these different things. And it's just impossible to get into. I tried so hard to get into this, and I kept rewinding it, and I kept trying and trying and trying to you know have at least somewhat of an idea of what was going on in this movie, but I couldn't. It was just so painful and challenging to even try to comprehend what I was watching because of just the look of it with these human hybrid cats and all this incoherent story that's uninteresting, and these characters that are supposed to be all different from each other, and just this whole setting of these jellicles and who they are and whatnot. And yeah, it's just god fucking awful, dude. And there's humor in this that is really bad and really hard to sit through, especially with James Corden making fat jokes and fucking falling on a pot on his balls. How is that supposed to be funny, man? Really? Why are you doing that? It's funny to think. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny to think because Food Fight is a movie that's so bad that you can kind of laugh at how silly and bad it is. But this is just pain. There's nothing funny about this movie. There's nothing pleasurable about this movie. There's nothing to gain from this movie whatsoever. And the only thing that I'm gaining from this movie is the ability to absolutely shit on it on here and on my Instagram page. Aside from that, there's nothing to gain. So yeah, it's just plain miserable, what you have to see here. And there's just nothing that I can enjoy out of it at all. What I did get from this movie was, not very amusing at all. It's basically a story of cats who live on their own in this I don't know, tribe or whatever of jellicles, and they each have their own stories. Ian McKellen, like he's like the old man cat. You know, he talks about being old, and James Corden, he's like the fat cat. He talks about being fat, and Rebel Wilson, she's like the big cat. She talks about like being like lazy, like hanging out around the house. And then there's like these pair of two cats who like, you know, they're like misfits. They're always causing trouble. They're mischievous. Like yeah, you have like all these different like, you know, types of cats like that do different things. I will say there is one decent moment in this entire movie, and it involves Jason Derulo of all people. At one point, Rebel Wilson is, you know, doing her song, and she's like talking about who her character is, and then Jason Derulo comes in and he makes like a couple of like funny remarks that I was just like amused by. That's like the one like decent thing that I'm kind of like that's kind of good. But I mean, it's Jason Derulo, but you know, it was kind of a just a good moment right there. So, yeah, that's really all that's good about it though. And the thing about this movie is that Taylor Swift is in it, and I love Taylor Swift. There's a poster of her right there, but she is not adding anything to this movie. I mean, this movie is a dumpster fire, and she's just not doing it any favors because she's basically just another character to, you know, add to the exposition that's god awful. You know, she sings her song about Macavity, you know, this villain played by Idris Elba. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing really good to be had there. But but I will say, and this has been a topic of debate for me, there is an end credits song by Taylor Swift called Beautiful Ghosts that's actually really, really good. But the thing is, I don't consider this part of the movie because I feel like end credits aren't really like part of the actual movie itself because once the movie ends, like a lot of the time you're just going to turn it off even if you absolutely love the movie. So I feel like it doesn't really have any bearing on the movie itself because you know you've watched the movie and then the end credits roll. I feel like they're like two like separate things. Like the only thing that could possibly make an end credit sequence like good or stand out is the song that's chosen for it. I mean, this isn't counting like end credit scenes, which is like a whole different thing. But just like watching credits roll, like with a song, I feel like it's not like part of like how you view the movie overall. It's just like this separate thing that's like, oh, you know, we get this little song. Oh, that's cool, but you know, it's separate from the movie though still. So I don't know. I feel like that is debatable. Would be interested in hearing what you guys think. But yeah, I'm not including that towards the rating. I don't think that's fair to really like, you know, bump the rating up because of that. But the song is good. I mean, if anything, this hearing that song by Taylor Swift at the end feels like a reward for being able to sit through this god awful movie. It feels like you have a sense of accomplishment for getting through this, and you get this Taylor Swift song as your prize for getting through this. So yeah, I'm going to give this movie a 1.3 out of 10. Yeah, lowest rating of this series yet. I mean, I'm not surprised I didn't like this, but yeah, I really didn't like this. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.